Hitman 3 Reloaded. Well, it's finally time for me to dive in and give you a full-on review of whether this is a good game or a bad game. Before I do that though, I just want to give you a little reminder that Hitman 3 has made its way to VR before in the shape of the PSVR 1 and a PCVR release for this. Both of those ports unfortunately were pretty bad, and the reason for that is the fact that they just were not VRified and they just felt like glorified mods for the game opposed to an actual port of the VR game. Fast forwarding to 2024, we were promised a brand new version of the Hitman 3 game coming to virtual reality with this brand new Reloaded title, because a VR studio had finally got their hands on this game, assisting IOI in making this into an actual fully fledged VR game. At least that was the promise that we were told. At least that is essentially kind of the lie we were told with this game, unfortunately. Now, you're probably picking up from my tone at this point. Well, sadly, I don't think this is a very good game, and I'm going to tell you kind of why as we wrap through this video. Now, I'm going to start off with the good points, and the only good point that I could actually unfortunately pick up from this game, and that's the fact that they actually managed to make this run on a quest. Apart from that, I actually don't have any other good points. So let's lead straight into why this is a bad game. Let's start off with the fact that every single thing you're going to do in this game relies on a button push. Yep, that's right, another button push. Yep, it's a button push, you guessed it. Yep, no, a button push, another button push. Yep, that's a button push. Oh, what's that? You want to do that? That's a button push, my guy. So yes, everything you want to do in this game is a frigging button push. There is no interactivity at all. There's no interactive moments in this game whatsoever, bar moving your arms around, punching someone, or pulling a freaking trigger. Past that, you have almost no interactivity. Even if you want to break a lock on a ladder, it's a freaking, you guessed it, button push. If you want to reload your gun, it's a button push. Why in the world would you make those choices when you're in virtual reality? You could literally are holding a crowbar, and instead of hitting the lock and breaking it, of course they want you to push a button to do it. If you want to reload your gun, one of the most basic mechanics that exists in VR, you don't grab a magazine out and have the satisfying sort of loading mechanic and pulling back the slide yourself. Nope, that's a friggin' button push. Honestly, it upset me so bad within minutes of playing the game, I just could not believe that this is the situation or the choice that they had picked to do this for. Now, button pushes aside, there are some other issues that are pretty glaring in this game as well. Graphically, I have no idea why they picked this to be a Quest 3 exclusive, because this game quite frankly looks like a PS1 game still. Not only does it look so friggin' bad, but it could have run on any device. I have no idea why this is locked off to a Quest 3. The graphical design that they've gone for this game was supposed to be this sort of shell-shaded sort of look to it, this very stylized version of Hitman, and I'm kind of down for that, but they missed the mark entirely for this, and not only that, but it absolutely suffers with the worst graphical errors. If you look off into the distance, it's absolutely impossible to see what the hell is going on, and then on top of that, if you look to just like 10 meters in front of you, maybe even less, maybe 5 meters in front of you, it becomes such a foveated mess. It actually made me feel nauseous and almost had to pull me out of VR, because it actually made me feel sick to look at, and that is a very strong statement from someone with as cast iron of a stomach as I do for virtual reality. Honestly, it's bloody shocking that this actually made it through a QA from Meta. On top of that, your beautiful floating hands will frequently just disappear. So if you get inside of a crate to hide, well, goodbye hands. If you get on a ladder to climb it after having the horrific button push incident happen again, you then get a cutscene that just fades to black, fade back up again, and then you have no hands are expected to climb a ladder, and you climb it like some sort of weird freakish slug, and then you get to the top to find it's a button push where you grow your hands back. It's a really odd choice. I have no idea why anyone would do this. It's just the worst game design I've ever seen in a virtual reality game. Then just to tee it off, all cutscenes are flat still. Not only flat, they're so pushed up against your eyeballs that you have to literally turn your head a full half turn to be able to see one side of the screen, and a full half turn the other way to be able to see the other half of the screen. It's just a really odd mistake. I don't know why they would do this. On top of that, the menu system is entirely flat. The selecting system to go through your entry, entirely flat. The menu to get into the game, entirely flat. It's just awful UI, and at best, in fact, actually it's probably one of the worst flat menus I've used in VR, because when you try and scroll, it just starts flipping through things at a rate of knots, making it almost unusable. Unfortunately, guys and girls, that's really the gist of this game. It's just a very, 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 very bad port. Honestly, if you are going to still want to purchase this after all of this, I mean, I'm not sure you've heard what I'm saying if you do, but if you still do want to pick this game up for some unknown reason, then do yourself a favor and buy it on PC. Because at least then you have the exact same problems that plague this game, except for you have the graphical sort of fidelity of your PC and, you know, the actual game looking like Hitman. Or if you really, really fancy it, then crack out your PSVR 1 and you would still have an incredible experience versus this. And that is insane to me to say, because both of those experiences in Hitman are trash at the best. So it really goes to show that somehow a VR studio taking over this project has ended up with a worse product than the product that people ripped to pieces being ported badly onto PCVR and PSVR 1. How the hell this has even happened is beyond me. They have said that they're going to push some patches out as a day 4 patch. I don't know why in the world that would matter, and why you wouldn't get it done prior to its release, or even hold this game back. It still, from what I've seen, will make nowhere near enough difference to this game to make it better. They're more focusing on like the graphical sort of fidelity, opposed to the fact that everything in this game is entirely broken. So genuinely, guys, please save your money. I know a ton of you are excited for this, as was I. I'm a massive Hitman fan, and I thought for once I wasn't going to get done dirty. But this to me is just another one of those examples with why the hell are people not researching what a studio is capable of doing and making sure that they are capable of bringing an IP into virtual reality. For the love of God, if anyone is going to give an IP out to a studio, do some research and make sure that they are capable of making a good game. Because as far as I'm concerned with this is a classic example of a trash game being brought into VR, and of course, yet again, makes VR look bad. Because, well, an IP gets released and of course it's trash, everyone says it's trash, and then people now think that VR is still in that current state. Pretty upsetting, but yeah, save your money. That's it from me. Peace out. Bye.